Today we are starting Unit 7. Section 7.1 is all about points, lines, and planes, and it's mostly dealing with definitions. So, point. A point is a location that does not have a size. We can just label that as point A. A line is a series of two or more points. It extends in opposite directions infinitely, so that means it keeps going on forever. It does not have a stopping point. You have to make sure that when it's a line, it has two arrows on the ends, and you can label it as line AB. A line segment is just a portion of that line. It does have two endpoints. So no arrows here, so that's AB or BA. There's a new notes packet up there. Congruent line segments means they're line segments that have the exact same length. So what you'll see up there is that one of them is AB, and it shows that it's 2 inches. And the other one is CD, which is also 2 inches. The symbol for congruent has this squiggle above equal sign. So this shows AB is congruent to CD. We can also label that as BA is congruent to DC. A ray is a portion of a line that has one endpoint. When we label that ray, it's going to have just an arrow on the side that has the arrow with it. So this is AB. A ray symbol always points right. So ray symbol always points right. And it must start with an endpoint. So opposite rays. If you're looking at a specific line, they have a common endpoint and the rays go in opposite directions to form a line. So we would say that ray AC and ray AB are opposite rays. They have a common endpoint, they go in opposite directions, and it forms a line. Collinear points are points that lie on the same line. So points A and B are collinear. But B and D are also collinear. So points B and D and A and D are also collinear because they form a line. And I'll show you. We can form a line between B and D. And we can also form a line between A and D. Because as we said before, any 2 points can form a line. Okay? Collinear just means those points are on the same line. All right, next page. Again, as I said, today and tomorrow are just a lot of definitions. Wednesday, we'll start working with those definitions. So a plane is a flat surface. It doesn't have any thickness, but it can be named by a single capital letter or by any 3 non-collinear points, meaning 3 points that don't form a line. So we can label this as plane ABC. It doesn't matter what order those letters go in. So it could be ACB. It doesn't matter as long as those 3 points are not on the same line. Coplanar, or actually there's one more way. We can also label that as plane P, because that's how that one is labeled. Normally it's this bold letter somewhere on your plane. Okay. Coplanar just means points that are on the same plane. So A, B, and C are all coplanar points. We've talked about parallel lines before. Parallel lines are 2 or more lines that will never intersect. So if we labeled this as line BA, And we're trying to show that it's
Madison
parallel
Michael to the front, please. Madison Michael to the front.
to CD. Does anybody remember what the symbol is to show that they're parallel? They're these two diagonal lines. Sometimes they're vertical, but as long as they're parallel lines. You can also write that as AB is parallel to DC. It's okay if you put them in the opposite order, it's just showing that they are on that line. Parallel planes. Two or more planes that will never intersect. Think about it like holding two pieces of paper parallel to one another. They're never going to intersect if those are parallel. So this upper one is plane P. And this lower one is plane Q. And we are just showing that they will never intersect. There's some distance between them. So plane P is parallel to plane Q. Skew lines are lines that are not on the same plane, they are not parallel, and they cannot intersect. There are a lot of different lines that are skew. I'm going to show you a couple examples. So EF, one line that is not parallel and will not intersect that is GC. So the line segment EF and the line segment GC are skew. And these are just some examples. If I chose, let's choose another one. EA. Can anybody tell me one other line segment that is not parallel and will not touch? Anybody? So if we zoom in here and we're looking at the blue, EG would not, because there's no line between EG. Let's try again. Unless you were going with FG, which is this one here. FG would be one example. They don't touch and they're not parallel. So EA and FG would work. Okay, again, not parallel, don't touch, not on the same plane. Okay? Through any 2 points, there is exactly one line. So if we're trying to create a line between A and C, there's only one line that connects those. Same thing between A and B. There is only one line that connects those. So as you'll see, no matter what letters we choose, there is only one line that will go through those two letters. That's it for that one. Flip the page again. Again, it's just a lot of definitions. I know it's pretty boring today. If two lines are going to intersect, then they intersect at exactly 1 point. So this is showing that point E is the intersection of those two lines. Point E is the intersection of AC and BD. And then our last postulate is that if two planes are going to intersect, then they're intersecting at exactly one line, which is shown right here. And if we just label that there's like points A and B on there, and if we label the planes X and Y, this is showing that planes X and Y intersect. So planes X and Y, quiet please.
Derek, will you back to Mr. Hiskey's room, please?
Intersect at line AB. So some other things to show. Intersecting lines are always going to be coplanar because at minimum you're going to have the point of intersection and at least one other point on each line. And since there are 3 collinear points, then that's going to form a plane. 4 points are sometimes coplanar. You could have 3 points from one line and a point from another, or 4 different points just all on the same plane. Plane containing 2 points of a line is always going to contain the entire line. Parallel lines are always coplanar. There is always some plane that goes through those parallel lines. And then 2 lines in intersecting planes are sometimes skew. So one example, if we have this section and this section, those lines are skew because they're not going to intersect and they are not parallel. But these 2 lines are not skew because they are parallel.